Hello, my name is Clair Van Steenwyk. I'm a Christian constitutional citizen activist is running for office in the Republican Party. And I'd like to take this time just to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a retired successful businessman. I ran 5 companies for other people. I started 5 companies of my own. They all made money. They were all successful. I also ran a Christian coffee house and halfway house in LA, did outreach work on Skid Row and Hollywood Boulevard, and formed a group that went down to Mexico 4 days a month and worked with small villages down there with the underprivileged. And trust me, if you really want to see underprivileged people, you can go down to Mexico and they're there. But the same can be said for the people I helped on Hollywood Boulevard and Skid Row in LA. Think about that. Just down the street from all the movie stars, there were people on Hollywood Boulevard that were being pimped who had traveled to California to become movie stars and then got, shall we say, swept up into the culture out there. So that's a little bit about myself. I didn't get involved in politics as far as being a candidate until 2012, although I was involved since the age of 9 when I worked for Dwight Eisenhower's campaign and have been fairly active in campaigns ever since then. I got involved, quite honestly, in 2012 because people challenged me. I had a radio show here in Phoenix, and it was political talk, and I'd been here for a few years doing it. But people started to challenge me and say, why don't you ever run for office? You're so safe behind the microphone. You can say whatever you want, but you ought to come out in front sometime and see what it's really like. I got enough of those challenges, and one of them talked to my wife one night, and then she came and talked to me, and we decided to run. And we did. And we enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed it actually ever since. Because I believe it's important for the voters to hear the truth from somebody that doesn't really care about having a political career, but only cares about a cause, and that cause is freedom for all of us, an opportunity for all of us. Not for the person running for office, but for the people we're going to represent. Because in my work life, I represented companies, and I had to be concerned about every employee in that company, that I don't make a bad deal that would cost them a job and maybe their home or their car, or their kids' private school, or even their kids' pair of shoes. That's how I took my job, and that's how I looked at it, and that's how I look at this. When I ask people to vote for me, I understand what I'm asking them to do. And I also understand why some people in Arizona, especially the politically elite and so-called activists here, get so offended at times with things I say. I've been called abrasive. I had a guy do a hit piece on me the other day calling my personality a porcupine-type personality because of some of the things I say. I question some of these people and I ask them, do I lie to you? Well, no. Do I mislead you? Well, no. Do I in any way at all say things that are fundamentally untrue to you? Well, no. Then what is it that bothers you so much? You say things about other Republicans that we don't want to hear because it could keep them from being elected. I said, so if I'm not lying or misleading or telling half-truths, what you object to about is me telling the truth about people who are either in office or running to be promoted in office or first-time people who are running for office. So telling the truth now has become a political sin for you, for me. It's not that you dislike me because of who I am, it's that you dislike me because of what I say. And I will say this to the American public and every citizen of the state of Arizona. I am not going to stop telling the truth about their rhetoric versus their record, their promises made while they're campaigning and broken when they get elected. And the excuses they give all of us. You got to understand what a deal making is. I made deals my whole life, multi-million-dollar deals with corporations like Walmart's and Costco's. I understand far better than these little twits do what a real deal is. But when they lie to us and they tell us they're going to make our schools better and they're worse, they're going to make our children better, but they're not. They're going to solve crimes, but they don't. They're going to fix the border. It's still open. We're going to stop all the crime in the country, and people are still being murdered more here every day than in the history of this country. And our country is morally in degradation, and you're looking at the human trafficking going on, and you shouldn't be angry about this? We have our children suffering and not being prepared for the next life, and yet these politicians tell us how successful they are. They're not. I will not stop exposing these people for what they are. If it upsets a few little niches in the Republican Party, that's too bad. I would talk about the Democrats if I was one, but I'm not. And my father always taught me, clean your own house before you start cleaning somebody else's. And the one thing you better never trust is a liar, and I don't. I also don't have any liars for friends. I don't need them. I know a number of them, and a lot of them are in office, but are not my friends. And I want to warn all of you. right now, when you listen to somebody running for office, you better be damn sure they're telling you the truth. Because if there's a way to shuffle around it, as a lady told me the other day, she came to an event I was speaking at, there were 5 other people on the stage with me, and she said, when I left there, you're the only one I understood. The rest of them never truly answered the questions. If your questions don't get answered, it's not because they're not asked. It's because the politicians and those who seek a career in politics are afraid to give you a truthful answer. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this. God bless you. God bless the sovereign state of Arizona, and God bless the United States of America.